explosion. They died before the explosion. Oh, nice. I don't think you said a villain, Mark. Mike?
McNuke.
McNuke.
That's what I was looking for.
Mark, Mike, McNuke. Names are hard.
Yeah, they're difficult.
There's too many
Ow, ow,
A's
ow,
and
ow,
M's and
ow,
Q's.
ow, ow. A likable villain.
Likable villain. So yeah, my first jump was always go to
Whoa,
Disney
what is
movies
it?
for
Okay.
villains too. So I was thinking. Let's see. Yeah. My first thought was actually Jafar too, which is terrible.
What
but,
the
like,
fuck?
I'm saying he's
I'm not saying he's not my
Completely
favorite.
unlikable
Yeah,
character.
no, I don't actually like him though, but he was the first one that came to mind. That's the, like.
I think-
that's my problem.
I think the problem is that the question is, or rather, what I first went to is what is the most memorable villain?
Sure.
Which I think Jafar is one of the most memorable villains.
Oh, yeah.
of anything ever. Where are you going with that? I think you're supposed to shoot it.
I can just move this.
You don't want to be destructive. Someone paid for those boxes.
Exactly.
I don't know why they're down in a fucking sewer, but
Let's see.
I think. Well, what about video game villains?
Video game villain.
How about
Ooh.
Ashman?
I have an answer for that.
Do you?
What were the?
Well, yeah, if we're talking
Man?
video game villains, I would definitely go with, from Tales of Graces. What do they
Tales
call
of
it?
Graces.
Lambda from Tales of Graces
Yes,
was a pretty
that was a
likable
really
villain.
I'm gonna grab more beer.
Yeah,
Sounds
by the
good.
end he's not even a villain.
I mean, yeah, by the end he's not a villain, but I mean, spoiler alert.
Spoiler. Yeah.
And then I'm a big fan of, speaking of villains from Mega Man,
Yeah.
there's a period of Mega Man games where Zero goes all rogue, and he's pretty likable at that point.
That's cool.
But
That's fine.
I'll take the warmest one. I went back. I homebrewed my Wii. You know.
Yeah.
yeah, you homebrewed your Wii?
Yeah.
Move that somewhere else.
I homebrewed my Wii pretty much only to be able to play NES and SNES games on it,
Mm-hmm.
which is fucking. The SNES is a little bit of a problem. I've been playing Link to the Past, which is probably my favorite Zelda game of all time.
Easily the best Zelda
Yeah.
game.
And it was the perfect combination of the classic style Zelda game and
But
NES
with
game,
new
really.
storytelling and
But big.
Oh, yeah, it
and,
was-
and everything about it was big.
I mean, it
Not
was
just
almost
the map,
like
but
it was almost like a sandbox game. It was a massive open
yeah, I mean,
world
it was,
game,
It was, yeah,
but
it was
in
an 8-bit free roam.
yeah, exactly,
game. I guess it was 16-bit, right? SNES.
probably
But
might have even been 32-bit.
sprite based. Was it? But
Well, I
so,
mean,
but
no,
so
maybe
I
not.
went back and was playing that, which is SNES on
Can't see. Oh, flashlight.
on my Wii, but Manhacks, that's what those are called. Manhack, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And it's kind of a bitch because I don't have a. I want to get a controller, one of the controllers for it, but I just don't want to pay like $30 because fuck them. I
Right.
actually wonder if I could get. It has USB ports. I wonder if I could get my PlayStation 2 controller to work with it if it's homebrewed.
I mean, maybe.
And I mean, yeah, I'm playing with it.
Or you could just get the you could get an emulator for your PC.
Oh, I do that.
Yeah,
I
just
do do
play it
that.
that way.
I've played. I transferred my
Fuck do
save
I-
files
oh,
over
is
from
this
the
just a
Wii to
secret
my
for the-
computer
oh, I
and was
see.
playing on my computer with my controller, which is I did do that, but I like playing it on my big TV downstairs.
Right.
In the recliner.
Understandable.
But I also was on my PC. I was playing. Do you ever play Goblin Commander? We had
Yes.
that.
Oh, that game was the best.
That game was so fucking awesome. Probably the first RTS I ever played, if I think about it. Like, I don't...
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, because that was, I didn't really...
Why can't I pick up their? Oh.
Wow,
Wow,
And
that was amusing
Your
timing.
alt click is a grenade launcher, but you don't have any.
Oh, I see.
And,
Chamber.
you probably have to go down. Sorry.
Yeah. Once again, you do not need to tell me what to do. It somewhat defeats the point of me playing this for the first time and that being entertaining to someone.
But
So have we acquired any other viewers, by the way?
nope, we did
good.
lose our one though.
Good. Good. Hey,
Yeah, fuck 'em.
This will be great for the recordedness of it.
Hopefully.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't know. Maybe we should just record ourselves when we don't know we're recording. Because I feel like we have better conversations when we're not trying to
right?
have good conversations. Like, do we want to go back to what we were talking about yesterday? Like Ender's Game or something like that? Harry Potter, maybe?
I mean,
I don't know.
something that I did want to say, because it would be great to have it on record, because I think it really amused me thinking about it, is I really feel like Harry Potter and Voldemort, or Tom Riddle, as characters are essentially parallels or stylistically similar to Moriarty and Sherlock. And I thought that was a really, really apt comparison. Because, I mean, if you think about it, what I think is really fascinating is that the two have different end goals, but their opinion on their use of magic, the use of forbidden magic, of, abnormal means, is identical. Harry, what was the scene that you said that describes the three of them perfectly?
Yeah, it was, someone had pointed out that the scene when they're trying to figure out who Nicholas Flamel is.
Right.
And it's that they're in the library trying to figure out who this mysterious character is. Hermione goes to, like, the indexes for the library and starts looking through what she thinks will be relevant books. Ron walks up and down the aisles pulling books out at random, and Harry immediately walks to the forbidden section.
Right. And I mean, that's the thing, is like Harry was always a rule breaker. He was never concerned. What? How is this thing not dead yet?
You only shot it like
shit,
twice.
that's
Oh yeah, the steam's
steam.
hurting you. It's fine. You don't need to kill them all. You can walk around somewhere.
Well, I
Another
mean,
shelf right there.
yeah, I might need that. But yeah,
Harry was as rebellious as his father was. Harry was just a slightly nicer version of James, and that was only because Lily's genetics were taming them. Like, James was an absolute asshole.
that's true.
Like, he was a bully. He was, elitist. I'm sure he aged well enough. Like, he got nicer with age. He was part of the Order, and so, he was
Right.
fighting Voldemort, so at least he's got that going for him. But he was an absolute asshole when they were still in school.
Yeah.
And Harry's the exact same way. I mean, he wasn't a bully, really, only because there was really no one to be bullied.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, maybe Neville.
Yeah.
But again, he was a lot more compassionate, like his mom.
But yeah, in the same way that, like, so Sherlock and Moriarty are always a incredibly engaging hero and villain, because they're really the only thing that really differentiates them is their end goals. Their means are always the same. They're both sociopaths with no care for anyone other than themselves, and they're incredibly intelligent and willing to do whatever it takes to achieve a goal, without any holding back. But Moriarty would like to see the world burn, and then Sherlock would like to see
good
crime
villain
solved.
choice.
Well, actually, that wasn't even the topic, but that's a good point too. Moriarty is an incredibly likable villain, just because he's just way too smart and hilarious to not
Clever.
like.
Here's a
that's
pretty
for
cool
sure.
question, not for us to have to answer, but looking, I'm just reading the answers. What ancient weapons would still be practical today?
Interesting.
What would you say off the cusp? What would your answer to that question be?
See, the question.
Probably a baton, I guess.
I mean, yeah, like any melee
for
weapon,
braids.
like a sword is still gonna be better than a knife.
Well, it's practical, but is it really? Like, if I come at you though
see,
with a gun
a
and
knife
you pull out a
is-
sword?
Well, that's my point.
Like, a knife
Is are
is
we
the
talking
most
about
practical.
relative use?
Yeah.
Like that was what I was about to say. Is there's an inherent question there of, I was gonna say a trebuchet would still be extremely effective for what it's used for.
But
However-
that's not the question, though. It's not effective. Obviously, a sword is still going to kill you today. It's,
Right, true. Okay,
it's
practical.
Yeah, what's practical to still utilize either, I guess, in
Well,
warfare
in
or...
what context, though? Like,
Well, okay, here-
usually
here-
if you got guns,
This
like,
is the top. This
Give
is
an
the
example,
top answer. This
yeah.
is the top answer.
Unless you're like freaking Slade.
Top one is Poison.
Also another great villain.
Poison is
Not
such
very
an
likable,
effective
though,
and horrible
anymore.
weapon.
Anymore, unfortunately.
Slade Wilson in Arrow was a pretty likable villain at the start, but became pretty unlikable by the end of it.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Isn't that the sign of a good villain though? That you don't like him?
No, he became just
got
annoying.
is
Yeah,
the
that's
part.
the
Like
problem.
his motivations are frustrating.
I think every Scooby-Doo villain is likable.
Okay.
But anyways, what was one of the
Bowser?
practical weapons? Bowser.
The top one was poison.
Oh, I guess
Poison
that's
is such an
technically
effective
true.
and horrible weapon that we have to ban it from modern warfare. Poison gas.
Yeah.
Chemical warfare. Someone
Aw,
replied,
man.
biological and chemical warfare is banned.
So, wait. So
Hitler
how? What was the title? Ancient weapons? Or
Yeah, what ancient
would
weapons?
still be
so like I don't
practical
know, poison gas I don't consider ancient. The same way I don't consider the
Well,
like
poison.
atomic
I
bomb.
think
Yeah, but like
poison.
Curari or whatever,
Yeah.
that kind of
That
stuff.
part of stuff, yes. I'll agree with that part.
Second one was guard dogs have been practical weapons for thousands of years.
Yeah,
I don't know if I
consider
would call
them-
that a weapon.
Because they still attack dogs. You
I
can
mean,
still say. Like yeah.
Yeah, that still begs the question: what qualifies as a weapon?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like I guess your fists are still a very practical weapon. You can still beat the shit out of someone just as easily as you could years ago.
My skills.
Third one was shields. Riot police still use shields.
It's true.
But
That's
again,
actually
is that a
very good one.
weapon? I feel like that's the exact opposite of a weapon. Unless you're in COD and you're fucking running around
Punching people with their riot shields.
Soon to be Battlefield.
What about fire? Like anything fire related is still an extremely effective weapon. Can I jump
Yeah.
up to you with a crouch jump?
Maybe that's
where it
I
came
don't know.
from.
It depends on, like, because napalm, for example, is a very specific type of like fire, just because of the way it works. But generalizing fire and like as a massive generalization, using burning things as a means of warfare is definitely very practical still.
Yeah.
A knife.
A knife.
Knives are just still.
I mean,
very
that's a
useful.
very
You
good
still
point,
carry
yeah.
around combat knives and stuff like that. They're very good for close combat, and they don't weigh you down when you're just walking around. Every soldier can carry one.
That would be interesting. I've read that Navy SEALs would like to use hunting bows from time to time, but are not allowed to.
Wait, why aren't they allowed to?
I don't know.
Makes me very
Rules of
curious.
War, maybe?
I don't know.
Military? I feel like that would be that seems smart. Like when they're trying to
Yeah, I mean-
silently and tactically kill someone
Right.
from afar,
Or even
shoot 'em
close
with a bow.
by, like crossbows are still used. Crossbows are actually a very good example. Crossbows were invented hundreds and hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, and are still extremely used, as evidenced by Daryl in The Walking Dead.
Oh, I would say, well, okay, if I was in a zombie situation, here's another good question. What gun or weapon would be your primary weapon? And take into account the fact that you can break it into, you can have more than one in this way, that initial weapon, like, so first, like, 6 months maybe.
Sure.
Versus
So including all
long-term
chaos,
ones,
including
yeah.
all the chaos of having to probably fight other people.
Yeah.
Then
And the
6 months
initial
plus,
swarm.
so you have to take
Right.
into account longevity of your weapon,
Yeah.
the durability if it's a melee weapon, or
Right.
ammo availability.
Right.
And then take into account after 6 months to 2 years, bandits on top of it, so that a crowbar wouldn't be that useful against a bandit.
Right.
So
I would start out by saying crowbar is absolutely my crowbar would be my very
Really?
first choice as my primary
not even an
weapon.
axe or something instead.
Nah, because a crowbar, it's all steel. It's all tool steel. It can be used as a practical tool to open up doors, which you're going to have to do, lock doors and such. I can break shit with it, and it's never going to break, no
Super
matter
lost
how many
right now.
zombies I beat over the head with. And even if it does break, it's still just a shorter crowbar. It's still useful to
true.
bash in heads.
Honestly, much like is in The Walking Dead. Actually, before I continue, where the fuck am I supposed to go right now? I'm really
I'm
lost.
not allowed to help you.
Oh, sure. Sorry.
I think you climb up to the
You're
top
not allowed
ladder
to,
and then fall in and jump on pipes or something like that. I think you might
That's
be at
what
that
I was
point.
trying to do, but I didn't.
I think I have to raise the water level.
To what though? Like, there's also nowhere to go.
Yeah, you do have to raise the
Yeah, see the
water.
little-
Oh, I
level.
see
Is
the
that what it
valve.
is?
I found it. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
Anyways, I would take a sword when I was at the start.
Shown.
Pretty much, yeah, the Michonne style, like all the way through probably the 6 months. The only
So-
thing that's not very helpful for is bandits.
My next question about this: do you have any time for training in this, or do you expect to just like know it?
You
You
need
can-
to be trained to use a sword if I'm using it against zombies.
And
Using it against
Michonne's
bandits, maybe.
fucking backstory is, I was a fencer. Okay, so that teaches
like,
that he's a
if
fucking
you try to use a katana
katana.
without have any type of experience with it, you're more likely to hurt yourself than to actually.
Well, but no,
I don't know,
no.
I think the
No,
experience is-
training for a katana is to provide katana versus katana abilities.
not even like no.
You think that I would be unable to
Okay.
slash at a non-weapon, at an unarmed
You-
target using a katana without hurting myself?
Well, not even that. It's just you can destroy the blade. Like even it's if you don't like slash the correct angle and whatnot with a katana, that it will break the blade. Even like they're only strong in very certain angles and whatnot.
I
so-
feel like
Well, I
that,
mean, yeah,
though,
you don't
against
swing
meat,
backwards.
though.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but I'm swinging against a body.
Wait,
Again,
no.
you're talking about things that would be really relevant if I'm fighting a knight or another samurai, but I don't think these are relevant when I'm
even
fighting a
against like
zombie.
flesh and bone and things like that, where you'll probably end up damaging it really quick. That, and
I don't know, I'm
honestly,
skeptical.
realistically, I think it would be a fairly high maintenance weapon to just even keep it like sharp enough and everything like that.
Yeah,
Well,
I
the
agree.
idea, the beauty of the modern katana particularly, but also, I think I'm supposed to go back into here now. The beauty of the modern katana is that with modern steel techniques, they don't lose their edge. They don't need to be resharpened.
I don't know about ever.
Short of damaging the blade, they don't need to be resharpened. They don't. Look it up. It's on the Wikipedia. You're Wikipedia nut. You can look up that kind of shit. They use very special steel folding techniques that do not lose their edge due to average wear and tear.
Which is what for a samurai these days?
I don't know what average wear and tear counts as anymore.
While I was chopping up my vegetables for dinner.
No wear and tear.
I don't. That's one of the things. Not one of the gripes, but one of the things I have that I argue against. I don't know. Just the fact that, like, John Brewer always says that the crossbow would be the best weapon by far to have, and I disagree because they never ever showed. I think maybe once or twice on
missed
Walking
that,
Dead,
the
they
way
never showed Daryl reloading. And on his crossbow, I believe it has it's what do you call it? Compound. He's a compound
right.
crossbow, so it takes a lot of the pull weight on it, but it's still something like 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're saying that you would want to be pulling 20 pounds worth of force back, locking it in, putting a bolt on, and shooting it again? I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want a crossbow. I would want an actual bow.
Right.
Where I can just pull an arrow out and shoot another one. If you get good with it, you could let off,
Yeah.
a couple arrows
No, I will
a second maybe. If
yeah.
you're, actually.
The beauty of a crossbow is that once it's ready, it's already prepared.
Yeah.
But yeah. I agree. I think that a crossbow's a word. I really.
I maybe have like.
I'm skeptical still about the katana thing. I think that
Don't break
the
those.
katana.
Don't break that. Though. You have to let it float up, and you're also drowning.
Oh, that explains a lot. Doesn't give you like an air meter.
It's what your aux power. Your
Oh.
flashlight and your oxygen are the same.
I see.